Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. Salutes to all my brothers and sisters out there. Salute, salute. Oh, we got a wonderful time to share with y'all today. Yes, we do. We got a wonderful time to share with y'all. This is some good stuff. They're going to open your mind to a whole nother level, a whole nother level of understanding what you capable of in this universe and how this universe is set up to reflect you. That's why I call it mirror universe reflection of you, because we have been put in a position where we don't know nothing about this universe and how it worked for us. Now, if you think about it, everything in this universe worked for us on Earth. The birds, the bees, the animals, plant life, trees, sun, the moon, the stars, everything worked for us, the human being, the individual, the spirit, because that's what we're working on today, spirit. We're going to get that word human out of our vocabulary because that's what's hurting the connection. That's what's hurting the connection. See, we believe that we're this body. And in order to manifest a divine reality for yourself, you got to use true reality. Well, you got to be in your true self. You can't manifest a true reality if you be in somebody else. So while you being human is messing you up. It's messing you up. Yeah, we're going to jump right into it and get to it. Ain't nothing to it but to do it. yeah, we're going to get right to it. Yeah. All right, this coming out of 2 Corinthians 3 and 13. And not as Moses, which put a veil over his face, that the children of Israel could not steadfastly look to the end of that which is abolished. Okay. But their minds were blinded, for until this day remained the same veil untaken away in this reading of the Old Testament, which veil is done away in Christ. But even unto this day, when Moses is read, the veil is upon their hearts. Nevertheless, when it shall turn to the Lord, the veil shall be taken away. Now the Lord is that spirit. Okay. Now the Lord is that spirit. And where the spirit of the Lord is, there's liberty. But we all, with open face, behold as in a glass the glory of the Lord, or change into the same image from glory to glory, even as by the Spirit of the Lord. And we're going to break all that down, because what it's basically saying is the Lord is a spirit. You could call it Lord or God, whatever you want to call it. It's spirit. Okay. And when you have your heart hardened, because every time the spirit come in and check on you and see what your mind don't change and your heart is hardened towards it, now it looks like you are saying, I'm still a human. And when you saying you still a human, that means you are out of alignment. And it's a divine alignment that you got to realign in. And what people don't realize, that we must be in a proper spiritual place. This is all spirit, okay? This is all spirit. Ain't none of this, what we see, is real. Ain't none of this. All of this is unreal. The only real is the spirit. That is the principle, the reality. Okay, that is God itself. And it's telling you by the way Moses them did. Moses was one of the ones who seen the spirit of God. Go back and read the book. Seen the spirit of God. Now, when it say face, it don't mean God got a face, because the etymology dictionary, face, yeah, you can have a human face, but it face always also mean appearance, expression, likeness, image. It don't mean a human face. And see, that's the connotations that we have, and that's what make us miss the mark of this divine book. See, we missed the mark because we don't understand the king's language and the way they wrote the book. And ain't nobody take their time out and rewrite it in a way with the original words that will break it down to a point where we can have a full understanding. See, knowledge is good. We read this stuff and everything, and we got all the knowledge. But if you don't understand it, you will not gain wisdom. That's just the way it goes. And you can't make it no other way. You can have all the knowledge in the world, but if you don't understand none of it, it's not good for you. You can't use it. It's not practical. So what that scripture is pointing out is this veil has been here, and it's going to be here until your heart change on your identity. And the identity that you got to take. I'm not this physical body. I'm not human. I'm spirit. And when you take on that, the power come back. You know the old saying, if you don't use it, you lose it. And that's what happened to humanity. And I use that word lightly. The spiritual beings on this planet, they lost their identity. And by them losing their identity, they are trapped in this human belief that is causing them not to reflect the good that they should have. You can't be, do, or have if you're not reflecting the good that is in you, the truth that is in you. You only gonna go so far. That's why the Bible even say that I reign on the just as well as the unjust. Why? Because when you just, you know who you are. You know what you are. You know where you are. You know these things. But when you're unjust, you have no clue. No clue. And that's what's happening. That's what's happening all around the world. Clueless. And the word is this right here. If you understand that you can have a better life just by changing a few things, why not go for it? Why not go for it? Why not give your creator, your divine mind, the spiritual substance, a try? Because the whole point of the matter is you're gonna do it one way or the other. You're gonna go through the meat grinder of humanity, or you can go through the smooth path of spirituality. Either way, you're gonna go through it, but it's a hard road and it's an easy road. The path, the way. So we have to understand these things. And the veil is over the Israel, and when it say Israel, it's meaning the people that is really seeking God, but their heart is not with God. Why? Because they think they're human. You got to get rid of the human, because the mirror that you looking in is only going to reflect the things that it see in your heart. That's why, listen, when you go back and read about Moses, they had the Passover, okay? The Passover symbolic meaning is when I read and see the blood on the doors, I'm passing over that because I see the blood and I recognize that you recognize. So now you safe, but those that don't have the blood on their door, it's going to be destroyed or unalive. And that's how it go. You got blood within this physical body. Your blood is the life force. Let me say that again. Your blood is the life force. When your heart changes and you no longer believe or think that you are human and that you know that you come from a spiritual source, a provider, protector, and you govern by spirit, guess what's going to happen? Your whole body changes. Your cells change, everything. Your brain recalibrate, your nervous system, everything changes. Everything changes because now you're using the proper tools, and that's what we have to do. Let's go to the next one. Yeah, this thing it's gonna get deep in a few minutes. It's just like we so caught up in things that we really shouldn't be in. That's my theory. I think we should be shot free. But where the spirit is, there's liberty. So when you know that you spirit, the spirit of God start really hovering over you, really putting a hedge around your life. Everything changes. And that is what we got to search for and seek for. All this knowledge that they throwing out is to bombard you into confusion. And the spirit is here telling you, change your mind about who you are, and I'll change your life. And that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. For real, for real. And if you don't want to change, then that's on you. But I'm just saying, the information is here. All you got to do is just get an understanding. Moses means drawing out, extracting from the water. The birth of Moses represents man's development in consciousness of the law of his being. From the negative side, water represents universal negation, but water also represents the great possibility. Out of seemingly negative conditions comes the new growth. And this is what you got to look at. This is what you got to look at. Negation means denying. You look it up on etymology dictionary. It means deny. Well, what you denying? You denying that you you are flesh and blood, that you are or all spirit, living soul. And when you deny that you are this flesh and blood, now you just entered into the spirit, and you just entered into a consciousness where now you can be recalibrated back into your spiritual understanding. What it say, put on the whole Christ consciousness, put on the whole mind of Christ. Now your mind lines up with the universal divine mind. Now those negative things that was pulling you away from spirituality, now you thirsting after spirituality, because the water has cleansed you, the spiritual water. And that's what we need, a spiritual cleansing. And understanding that our power on this earth has been taken away because we don't use this faculty, the imagination. And you can't use it. That's why I read that first, because you can't use it if you don't know you have it to use. You cannot. You cannot use something that you don't know you have. And your imagination is one of the most powerful things in this universe that will create. You come from a creator that creates out of its mind. So it is divine mind. You are in the divine mind. So it's telling you, first things first, the law of mind is, it means that you got to create with your mind. So the old way of doing got to go away. Them conditions. And then guess what? Growth gonna come into your spiritual self. But first of all, you got to let go and deny and affirm that you spirit, that you are one with the all spirit. And when you do that, love, peace, power, happiness, joy, reconciliation, all of that, the veil has been lifted. See? Then your prosperity is abundant. When you use all your gifts and your faculties, your imagination, you see beyond this realm of existence. You see beyond this realm, because the simple fact is you all powerful. Now you don't reconnect to the all powerful. When you say I'm human, you disconnect yourself. When you believe that you're human, you disconnect yourself. When you say I am spirit, I am energy, I am light, I am divine, I am love, I am power, then now you reconnected to the whole entire universe, because you are the whole entire universe and you equal to the divine. You know, not less. And these are the truths that will set you free. What it said, where the spirit or the Lord is, there's liberty. Well, you got to know how to get to the liberty. It's the first thing you got to denounce, deny, and let go of this human thinking. You got to think like God in order to manifest. You got to think like God. Now, people will tell you that you can just manifest just by thinking, and people do, because unknowingly it happens, because we do it all the time. We manifest and we create things all the time unknowingly. Okay, I'm not saying it's impossible. In this realm, all things is possible. You in a realm where if you speak with passion and conviction, it's going into the substance. And that substance, what it say? My words will not come back to me void. It will complete everything that I say. Yeah, that's how I go. But it's either if it's more smoother when you're aware of the divine, that you in the presence of the divine. It's more smoother. It's more easier. More it's complicated out there. Let me go back to it. Let me show you why I'm saying that. Listen to what it said. Moses mean drawing out, drawing out, drawing out that good that is in you, that power, extracting the power from the water. And if you know the story, he was in a basket and he was going down the Nile River, and they pulled him out and brought him into Pharaoh's house. Okay. The birth of Moses represents man development. See, we always development. We always going to another level of consciousness. We always developing. No matter how it look, you always being spiritually developing. Some people go slow. Some people just catch on to it and get an understanding and just go and get in the flow of it. And that's a beautiful thing. But here's what I want you to understand. Out of seemingly negative conditions comes the new growth. When you are in the way of poverty, lack, confusion, loneliness, bitterness, hatred, all of this is outside of the flow of God. Okay. When you say, I'm not human, I am spirit, I am one with the all, I am one with the divine. Now you come into the fold of God. Now you come in the paws of God. Now your conditions should push you to God, because that's why he allowed them to happen. Your conditions is happening so you can say, oh, wait, man, I can't take this no more. I got to go to God. I got to go back. I got to find something. I got to get to God, because I know it's peace. If you ain't never read the Bible, or you ain't never read the Quran or any spiritual thing, you know the deity is peace, love, happiness, abundance, wealth, health, success, prosperity. Everything is beautiful. No more problems. Why? Because you don't put all your faith into your creator. No more money issues, no more situations with family members and all these things. You grow. It say, be of good cheer, for I have overcome the world. See, when you get there, oh my God. When you get there, you're going to be so happy and delightful. And that's what it's supposed to be about in your development. This classroom that you in right now, it shouldn't be this hard, what you're going through. It shouldn't be that hard where all the problems in the world, you seem like I take a step forward, then I take 3 back. No, it shouldn't be that way. See, with God, all things is possible. All doors are open. Any path you choose, the light shall shine on your path. And when you speak to God, when you speak in truth, and well, you got to be in the spirit in order to speak the truth, because we say a lot of things and it don't amount to nothing. But if you just think about it, once you identify yourself as spirit, that's the first step, okay? That's the first step. The veil is going to be lifted. Once your veil is lifted, to discover the magic mirror, okay? To understand the magic mirror that you have, which is your mind eye, you got to recognize that God exists, and you got to honor that existence and say you are one with it. So in order for you to say you one with it, you got to be a spirit. You can't be human, because God is spirit. And stop putting a face. See, that's why they gave you the pictures of them folks and Jesus and all of this, because they know that your subconscious mind is going to register a face with your deity that is going to keep you in captivity. Spirit is what sets you free. Where the spirit of the Lord is, there's liberty. And that's where you want to be at. That's where you want to be. That's where the game is. You want to be a winner, that's where you need to be. God ain't never failed in nothing. What we failed at, we didn't understand this book and all other spiritual things that go along with it. And we didn't understand mysticism. We didn't understand metaphysics. We don't understand cryptology, cytology, etymology. We don't understand them things. You got to get them things in order to understand this universe. We got to understand this universe. Know thyself. When you know thyself, you know God, because God is you. You are God. But you don't look in these mirrors. Oh my God. You don't look in these mirrors, and these mirrors psychologically has conduced you to thank you this body. And I don't told people over and over, just hold your breath and see what happens. Just hold your breath. This body will whoop. It's nothing without the life, without the force, without the consciousness. It's nothing. So if you're not the body, then you got to be the other one, the spirit, the life force, the power, the light. You cannot be this physical body. If you the physical body, you can hold your breath forever and still have consciousness. But it don't work that way. It ain't never worked that way, and it never will. Go jump in the ocean and try to go down to the bottom without oxygen tank and see what happens. Boy, you ain't gonna make it. This body ain't designed that way. And anything where conscious at, where the spirit at, it's gonna be life and it's gonna be liberty. And that's what you gotta remember. But let's get back to that. The veil, okay? First, you gotta remember that you're not this body. That's the first thing. And you got to confess. Confession is made onto salvation. You ain't got to go to no priest or your dad and them, or just talk to yourself. Tell yourself that you ain't, because charity start at home. You got to start with yourself. You got to love yourself enough to say, okay, I know something ain't right. It could be better. How can it be better? I'm telling you, the Virgo is telling you, you had one side, the Virgo is telling you the other side. I'm telling you what makes it better. When you start realizing that you are spirit, and I mean realizing this is an everyday thing, because your old way of thinking gonna pop up and say, okay, nah, you ain't no spirit. You this human body. Nah, good and time well, you ain't no spirit. It's gonna pop up and do that. But what you got to do is keep confessing and confirming who you are, and deny who you thought you were. You got to do these things. Moses represents denial, okay? Christ represents affirmation or affirming. Let me say that again. Moses, the Old Testament, is represented to deny, and which is denying the body. And the New Testament is to affirm the spirit that you are. But they trick you. I'm telling you. They put it on you. They knew that it would take you a long time to figure this out. They knew it. It took us a long time. And people did. And then now the information is coming, and they made you dislike the Bible, because I did it too. And I ain't gonna tell no lie. But the thing is, when you rediscover this magic mirror, this divine surplus, the blessings that come when your eyes is open. We ain't gonna get to the eyes yet, but let's go to the veil. The veil. See, we got to remember that information is good. It's good. It's good to have information. It's good. I ain't gonna lie. But if you don't understand the information, it still ain't gonna work for you. It just ain't gonna happen. It just ain't gonna happen. Let me get back to it the way I want to do it. This thing, well, let's go and do it. The metaphysics meaning of veil, of the temple, that in the body which has shut out the light of spirit, okay, and has hindered man from consciously standing in the presence of God. There you go. I'm telling you, God is right here for you already. But what you got a veil over you. The presence of God, the rendering of veil of the temple picture, a letting go of the belief in the reality of material consciousness, the relinquishment of the soul to God is the final giving up of all human ambitions and aims. When you let go of thinking the way you think, the belief that you believe you this human body, just let it go. And it's easy to do once you start understanding and start studying about metaphysics and understanding the universe. Then you can let this stuff go. You can let it go. This is what it say. Veil of the temple, which is the body, the temple, that in the body which has shut out the light of spirit and has hindered man from consciously standing in the presence of God. The rendering of the veil of the temple picture, a letting go of the belief in the reality of material consciousness. The relinquishment of the soul to God is the final giving up of all human ambitions and aims. And when you do that, you set free. You set free. You've set free. And that's what people don't want to do. See, what you got to do in order to walk in your divine self, you got to let everything go about this world. Money, car, clothes, everything. Because you're gonna get all of that back. You're gonna get all of that. but you're going to get it from the spiritual substance. That's why the Bible say, now faith is substance. That substance is here, invisible. You can't see it with the naked eye. You can't touch it with your hands and feet, but it is here. That's how everything you see is here. But all the things that you desire, I will give you your heart's desire. But how do you get your heart's desire? You got to get the veil off. You got to get the veil off. Oh my God. You got to get the veil off. Why? Because the veil is blocking you. It's blocking you in stupidity. It's blocking you in ignorance of self. It's blocking you in foolishness. It's blocking you in all manners of seeing yourself, because the way you see yourself, the universe sees you the way you see yourself and reflects back to you the way you see yourself. When you see yourself as spirit, then the universe see you as spirit. And guess what? The universe say, now they look just like me. Yeah. And when you look like what he told you is, he already know, or it already know that your mind already changed. Now the divine alignment finna take place. Now you get healing, you get protection, you get time, you get everything you need to develop in the right form, in the right way. And you ain't just got to do it in your location. You can do it any way you want to. And you can live the way you want to. Do no harm. Now let's go. When you recognize that you're standing in the presence of divine God, that's all it is. There's nothing else. All these theories, all these things, there is nothing else. And if you just sit down and just think about it, just think about it. All the things that they don't hid, all the things that they don't lied about, all the things that they took from you in that meat grinding material world, why wouldn't they hide God from you? The one that can set you free from that material world. They knew that. And they did that. They did that. But when you wake up and realize and ask for spirit and truth so you can recalibrate and realign yourself, then it's going to be easy peasy. You're going to be running around your house happy. Everybody going to be like, okay, why are you always happy? Why are you smiling always? Why are you always handling situations that should be making you angry? Why are you dealing with people that with love when you should be hollering at them? You change. You have empathy for people because you no longer see them as people, you see them as spirits. Everything is spiritual. Everybody is spiritual. Even the birds, the bees, the trees, everything, like I said, it is designed to work for the human body, but it's still spirit. Just slow down. Godspeed. Oh. This is one I like right here. Yeah. Yeah, this is the one I like. Because this is so divine right here. And the reason why I say this is so divine, because I have heard people talk about the third eye for 10 years. The third eye, the third eye, third eye. open the third eye, my pineal gland calcified, all this stuff right here, and people pineal gland calcified. Well, you can't use something until you get the okay to use it. Let me say that again. You can't use something that until you get the okay to use it. Well, what makes it okay? When you acknowledge who you are, and then the veil will be lifted. Then you got to grow into it. It just don't open up like that. Ain't no space and time in this infinite universe, but guess what? You still got to develop. It's just like if you sow a seed, that seed got to go through a stage that it bursts through the hull around it, and then go down, the root go down, and the stem got to go up. It's still a development, and it got to be moisture, sunlight, air, and everything, in nutrients. Everything got to happen. You the same way. You got to go through a process. The metaphysical meaning of single eye. The single eye sees only good. God good. Everywhere, this perfect vision heals all diseases in mind, body, and affairs. The lamp of the body is the eyes. If therefore thine eye be single, the whole body shall be full of light. If therefore thine eye be single, the whole body shall be full of light. Now listen to what it's telling you. Long as you looking at this world, this physical world, it's going to block your spiritual view. That's why Jesus was healing all them blind folks. And because they were spiritually blind. They weren't physically blind like we read it. It's a spiritual blindness that the veil has been put over people. Why? Because their unbelief of who they are. They believe they something that they're not. And when you believe that you something that you're not, you get what you believe you are. The reflection of the universe give you exactly what you reflects into it. So if you reflecting into the universe that I'm this human, then you get what humans get. You can't be great. You can't be powerful, billionaire. You can't be all of that because you have limited yourself. You have put yourself in a limit. When you say I'm human, when you say you spirit, that boy, you so broad, you infinite. Ain't nothing, ain't nothing in your way. But if you can't see past that, that's what he's saying about the eye. If you can't see past the forest from the trees, you're in trouble. Oh my God. You're in trouble. So you got to sit down, meditate, and ask the spirit, who am I? And just wait for the answer. I guarantee you something gonna pop up. After you get up or while that day going, you're gonna get an answer. And it's gonna be straight up. If you be straight up, even if you get on your knees and relax and just, who am I? What am I? Where I come from? Where do ideas come from? Where do my brain, my mind come from? Ask these questions, and guess what? The answer's going to lead you right back to the source. I'm telling you. But you got to be willing. See, you can play all you want to in this world and do all you want to. You ain't going to a limited place, unlimited place. You're going to be limited always. Long as you think you this body that is so elegant and beautiful and all that. Yes, it is. It's divine. But guess what? That ain't you. They had a story in the 1800s about mirrors, right? Since we talk about mirrors. In the story, they were saying that people had to cover up the mirrors because they were seeing stuff. They were seeing stuff like spooks in the mirror. Okay. So they covered up. And this was, I mean, worldwide. They was covering the mirrors that they made in the 16, 17, the 1800s. They called them silver. It was something in the silver. And these mirrors, in the daytime, they was okay. But if you put a lamp or a candle and look into them for a little while you turn your head this way, it'll sit there for a minute. And then when you look back, it'll turn its head. Oh, it's awesome way it was doing. But what they were saying is this: you reflect into the mirror and it really see the soul, what you really is. It really tells you what you really is. And some of us, they're not to do that. I wouldn't do it because I know what I am. But the point I'm trying to make is this right here. If the universe spirit read your heart and it see all this bitterness, hatred, lying, cheating, all this crazy mess, that's what your life gonna be. That's what you're gonna get. Out of your heart come the issues of life. But if you spiritual, okay, and now you have realigned your heart with spiritual truth, spiritual value, spiritual love, spiritual confidence, and spiritual oneness, that's what you're going to get. Whatever is in your heart, that's what you're going to get. Remember that. The eyes is the wonder. The eyes is the wonder. And when you looking at this world saying, this, I'm a part of this world is, this is it. No, you just effect, bumping your head. Ain't no happiness. Ain't no true happiness in that. And after you don't bump your head long enough, you realize, wait, something ain't right. Something ain't right. That's why all the self-help books and all this, these gurus here, this guru that, as simple as this right here. Just pick up the Bible and find some way of understanding the metaphysical side of it or the mystical side of it. And ain't nothing wrong with that. You still in the realm of Jesus. Because I know a lot of people are either in love with Jesus or can't stand Jesus. I'm gonna say that again. They either in love with Jesus or can't stand Jesus. That's how this universe is. And I get it. I understand why it happens that way, because it was pressed on you to focus your energy on Jesus And Jesus was like, man, that ain't the way it go. That ain't the way it go. I gotta develop the Christ consciousness, just like John the Baptist, just like Paul and all his disciples. He had to develop the Christ consciousness too. And so do you. So do I. We got to realign our mind just like he realigned our mind. Buddha had to do the same thing. Everybody got to do it. It's not this one man thing and he can do it for you. That's a lie. You got to do it for yourself. And this is the teaching and the power that you need to do that, to see beyond these things that you call real reality. It's not real reality. The only real reality is spirit. If you take away all of this, what you see with the naked eye, you won't see nothing but spirit. That is the true reality. That's all you'll see. And it's blissful. It's divine to give us this opportunity. I honor it. Yeah, I do. No matter what we go through in life, it's developing you. Just remember that. Let's go to the next one. Now, I told you now, faith is not like I say, the word. Okay, that's that. You know, faith is not that what we think it is. See, when we see the word face, we see like human face, stuff like that. No, you can face something and it ain't got no face. You can face a car, it ain't got no face. The presence, that means right now, you ain't nothing else. Ain't nowhere else you could be at. You in the presence. Ain't nothing else, nowhere else, no state of consciousness you can be in but in the presence. And here you go. The inner realization of the divine presence. Listen, divine presence of having met God face to face. We all capable of that. And of having succeeded through prayer in obtaining the divine favor and blessings that have been sought. Turn towards God, face of God, within the presence of God. Visions of God, recognition of God, beholding of God. All the Peniel Jacob name was changed to Israel, because as it was explained to him, thou hast striven with God and with men, and has prevailed, had power with margin. And that is what you got to do. And the only way you're going to go face to face with a spirit, listen to what I'm telling you now. The only way you're going to go face to face with a spirit, you got to be spirit. You got to be spirit. You can't be nothing else. How you gonna see a spirit if you're not a spirit? You got to be a spirit in order to see the spirit. In order for the universe to reflect what you want through your imagination, you got to see that your whole being is spirit from your heart point of view. That's all it wants. And when it sees that, what your imagination can imagine and see beyond what your circumstances and situations is, long as you can keep a focus wherever your attention at, that's where your energy at. And when you got all power from the divine and you got all this goodness stored up in your heart, the desired reality that you want to create, because you are a creator of co-creator of whatever your life is. But first you got to know your spirit, and then you got to have the veil ripped off in order to create. You got to have focus and sit down and live in what lifestyle you want to live, how you want to live, how much money you want to live, what you want to be, what you want to do, what you want to have. That is the promise of God. That is the paradise land of God. And that's what people got to remember. You get only what you give. If you giving, so out of my eyes. If you giving what humans give, you go get what humans get. But if you using your the mind law, the law of mind, guess what? There's no limit, because the universe already know your reflection is limitless, that you are like it, that you are one with it. So whatever's in your heart, it reads it, just like DNA get read by RNA. It reads your heart and manifests into this reality of mentalism, of materialism. That's how this works. You got to use the tools in order. You can't go and think you can do it backwards, get the material stuff first and then be spirit. No, it don't work that way. It don't work that way. And that's what you got to remember. All people that's on this planet, all of us, we are spirits. We spiritual beings. And we came from a spirit. That's why I say throw away them ancestors and sex and age and all that stuff right there. You spirit. Your only ancestor is God. Let me say that again. You are spirit. Your only ancestor is God. That's the only ancestor going to be able to help you in any given situation. If you in Japan, the spirit of God can be in Japan too. If you in Jamaica, the spirit of God is in Jamaica too. If you in Paris, France, it's in Paris, France too. Listen to what I'm telling you. It is not a solid entity. It's everything, everywhere. Why? Because it knew man will grow and expand and go different places and be different things and have different things. So it had to be what it got to be for us to have this physical experience. It's just a experience for your spiritual self. It's just a experience. You're not this body. You're not permanent. You're temporal. This body is temporal. Now, it can be a spiritual, but you're going to have to change all the way and everything in this body to be spiritual in order to stay down on this plane of existence. Yeah. So what you got to do is relax and understand that your heart is stopping you from getting the blessing that you want, to living the life that you want, the millions and the the Mercedes and the Bentleys and the Rolls Royces and traveling and starting programs for kids and having condominiums for sale and living a luxurious life, speaking at every event in the world and just being what you want to be. Your heart, your identity. And the only way the veil is going to be lifted where you can see to create, you got to recognize that you spirit. And then you got to recognize God as spirit. Then the veil will be lifted. It's not by your power, not by your might. It's by the spirit, said the Lord. And that's why the Bible have stood the test of time. That's why it stood the test of time. I got to give a salutes to it because people have picked it up, traveled with it, throwed it down, picked something else up. Yeah, that's how it go. Confusion, chaos. But when you sit down and you start looking at things, the Bible start coming back to you. And then you start realizing, wait, hold up. I read this, and this is what happened in my life right here. Dang, that makes sense right there. That's how it go. And when people around the world start realizing that this universe mirrors your heart, your thoughts. I got a poem I'm going to read to y'all. Well, a little story I'm going to read to y'all. But once you realize that you getting what you already got. So if you got an evil heart, evil attitude, not friendly, not kind, this is what you getting back. In order to be, to have a friend, you got to be friend. You got to be a friend. To have wealth, you got to already have it. You cannot have something that you don't have. So what that mean, DaVirgo? Well, you want a better life. You want prosperity. You want success, health. You want to heal some people. You want all of that. You got to use your imagination and you got to see beyond this unreal reality we call the material realm. After you acknowledge yourself as spirit, after you acknowledge that you're one with God, that veil will lift off and your imagination will be free. Where the spirit is, there's liberty. So when you got liberty to see beyond this unreal reality, then you can go and create a new you, a new world, a universe for yourself. You have the power, the capability then. Until you deny that you human, until you acknowledge that you spirit, the veil will be over your third eye, the mind's eye. And you won't be able to see it. Now you will be able to have a mediocre life. I wish that none perish now. Don't get it wrong. Don't get it twisted. Ain't gonna have you starving. But once you open to the divine mind, you'll be able to create a royalty, luxurious life. Listen to what I'm telling you. You will be able to create businesses, whatever you desire, in service of the universe, of the divine people of this universe. And I use the word people lightly too. This is what's supposed to be taking place. You are creators. And when your will faculty is open, then the will of the creator, the divine substance, start shooting energy into it. And whatever your heart desire, it start manifesting in your life. Now listen, you ain't got no say so how it come, where it come from. But long as you can stay focused, it's coming. A better life. I came to give you life and life abundant. I didn't come to put you in the spiritual headlock and make you starve and work from paycheck to paycheck and not do good towards people. I didn't come for that. I came to give you life and life abundant. And when you understand that you have a place in God, you're a fraction of it. All of us is. It's going to take care of us. Iron sharpen iron. Life take care of life. Love take care of love. Glory take care of glory. That's how this works. And this is top secret that they didn't want you to know. The secret doctrine, well, this is the secret magic mirror. Oh my God. This is secret magic mirror. When you understand that you got a veil over your third eye, and that the only way you can get that veil off, confession is made onto salvation. Confession is made onto salvation. The only way you're going to be able to get that veil off, you got to confess. Well, deny first and then confess what you are. And when you do that, then the veil will be lifted and all your heart's desire. I will give you your heart's desire. Ain't no game about it. And you can't miss it because it's so big. Your faith can't miss it. Long as you got faith and put it in your mind that you trust in that which you cannot see, that which you know is creating, the divine mind, that which you know that is spiritual energy that you're one with, you can't miss it. Too big to miss it. Too much to go over. Too low to go down under. You can't go around it. Ain't no way you're going to miss it. Because it is penetrating, permeating the whole entire universe. It is the universe itself. It is everything that we see with these eyes. And when you open your third eye, you will see the other. See, we only see probably 10%, if 10%, of reality, of the divine. The other 90 is what we can't see. But when your mind's eye open, you'll be able to see it. You'll be able to see it. Yeah. Go read the story of Moses. I know it's all allegoric, but read it. When he went up there to get the tablets, the 10 Commandments, he say God passed him by. He stopped now, he just passed by. Says countenance was white. So it's so divine and powerful. You can't look upon it like we think in this human mind. You got to be in the spiritual mind to understand these things in the Bible. You got to adapt the truth in you in order to see the truth in the book. It's not a human historical book. It is a spiritual guidance to a psychological and spiritual consciousness. To be aware, because conscious means to be aware of what? That God is around you, that God is in you, that you're one with God. That's what consciousness really is. We've been taught conscious. I'm conscious. They love to say, I'm conscious, I'm conscious, I'm conscious. Yo, that's good. If you think that, ain't nobody wrong, ain't no right. But the whole thing is let's stay neutral and get to the truth. You know, I always tell people, man, listen, if I'm going somewhere and get service and I don't like the service, can I speak to the supervisor? That's my first word. Why? I don't want to talk to the middleman. The middleman can't help me. Not belittling nobody, but just being real. When you need to make a conscious decision, you know, the waitresses can't make no conscious decision. The bank teller can't make it. Let me talk to the bank president. Let me talk to somebody that can make something happen, what I need to happen, that have the authority to do that. So why not do that for yourself? Why not ask yourself in meditation, who am I? Where I come from? Where do my ideas come from? Where do my brain come from? Where do mind come from? Ask questions, any kind of form your own questions, but ask them and see for yourself. Taste and see that the Lord is good. So we got to remember all of the stuff that we looking at is not real, and it's dimming our light. The more you look at this physical universe, your light is being dimmed within. So what we have to do is, first of all, and I keep saying this, you got to acknowledge your spirit, acknowledge you're one with the divine, and the veil will be lifted. And when the veil that you can see beyond this realm and start creating, it's like mitosis. You know, when this is how manifests really manifests. It's like one cell. Okay, you got that cell, and that other cell. Amen, brother. The other cell breaks off. Okay. Now they identical. The cells are identical. Okay, that's what you did. You did that with God. You broke off. You identical. You're a spirit. You was a spirit, and you was that cell, and you broke off. Mitosis. That's what it is. Cells. That's why I tell people study cytology. That's the study of cells. Understand that when you breaks off, okay. Now you don't broke off. This your old cell broke off from the new cell. Now what you do the same thing when you manifest. When the veil is took off your third eye and you start sitting down and you creating a life for yourself, your energy is going there, okay? Your attention is on it, so your energy is going there. And once you walk around in your house or whatever your desire is, your heart's desire, then you just stay focused on that. You ain't got it yet, but it's got it. You got it in your mind, and long as you got it in your mind, you got it. And when you happy with it, or happy if you ain't got it, just be happy. Gonna make you happy. Guess what gonna happen? Now you just broke off the old thinking, the old self, and created a whole new you and a whole new another life. Mitosis. That's what's happening. The mirror reflects, the universe reflects you. Whatever you see yourself and however you see yourself, that's what you're going to get in return. So if you exerting yourself being in a Bentley convertible, I like convertibles, Bentley convertible, you see your house remodeled, you see everything, you see yourself carrying the grandkids on trips and flying here and doing all these things, and you living in that world. The subconscious mind is saying, listen, I don't know if it's real or fake because he's so happy. Guess what's going to happen? The wheel opens up and the substance flows in. Now, this stuff that was all in your mind and it bringing you joy because you always was thinking about it, now it done became into this unreal reality, because that's what it is. That's how this work. It reflects your heart's desire. If you got a desire, a passion to do something, just like mine was to create this channel, to sit up here and just talk and have fun and just enjoy it. Here I am. I was in a truck riding out, but here I am right now. Every step of the way. And I'm telling you, it works. Look at me. It works. But you got to acknowledge who you are. Long as you think you this human and all these ideals, what humans do and all this, it ain't gonna change that much. But here's what I'm telling you. When you take on your true identity, your thought process changes, your heart process changes. Now the spirit, the truth start entering to your spiritual heart, which is your consciousness, your subconsciousness. And when it start entering in, it start casting out the old thinking and bringing in new. Not by your power, not by your might, but by the spirit. Okay? So when you understand this and start putting this stuff to practice by meditating and contemplating and praying truth. Don't just throw something out there. Read something first that is truthful, that you know is eternal, and then pray on that. Don't just, but first you got to acknowledge your spirit. If you go back to the Bible and just say, I'm just look at everything as a spiritual being, in a spiritual being, one with a spiritual being, then the truth you'll start seeing what I saw. You'll start seeing the Bible differently. You'll start seeing the world different. You start studying the universe. You start understanding that this cosmic universe that we in is so divine and so good and loving, then you'll be happy all the time. And the more you happy, see, listen, I'm finna read this in a minute. The more happiness you can bring, the universe mimics your mode. If you happy today, happy things gonna come. If you mad tomorrow, mad things gonna come. That's how the universe do. It's set up. The principle, you can't crush that. So When you in the presence and you know you in the presence, everything easy. You're gonna find a way to be happy, be thankful, be loving, be kind. Cause you know this is this is the truth right here. When you know this principle, you know if you get mad, it's madness gonna start coming at you. So now you don't start governing yourself a little bit better because you understand the universe. Okay? When you understand the universe, then you change and transform, and life get easier, better, bigger, in abundance and happiness and everything. And it's easy to stay focused on things that you truly want to do and truly want to be. You know, I don't know if y'all know, I go everywhere. I go everywhere. Been doing it for years. Love it. I don't meditate it in real Buddhist temples. Okay, I don't see real Buddhist coliseums where they just number temples. I don't been there. I don't see pyramids everywhere. Why? Because somewhere in my consciousness, I acknowledge who I was and my desires start being filled. The way I live, you think I'm a millionaire right now? I am, because I got an unlimited supply, unlimited help. Even when it don't look like I got help everywhere, coming everywhere. And it ain't all because of money. It's because of spirit. We in God. Listen, this is what I'm going to make it simple and plain. You in everything. You in the being that is and have everything. Can make people start and stop. Let me say that again. It will make people start and stop. It will lead you to places where you get fed properly. It will lead you to avenues where money come easy. It will lead you in God because it knows everything. It feels everything. That's how powerful it is. And you one with it. And that's what you got to keep in mind. So if you keep being a human, listen, you cannot expand when you think you're a human. You cannot. I wish we can go back to 1825. We go back 1825. It was 13 families all over the world, ruled the world, okay? These families were all related in some way, some form or fashion. They inbred it in. All right. And if we can ask the first elders of the family, are they human or spirit? And I guarantee you they'll say, we spiritual beings. Hey, we just pass it through him. Why? Because they knew the surplus in the sky around you. They understand wealth. How did they understand wealth? Because they understood the universe. And when you understand the universe and how you are one with the universe, then all the things that you desire will come to you. And you can use them to benefit yourself and others and make an economical foundation for you and yours. That's how this works, man. But the masses, they say 1% of the people are billionaires or run the country or something to that effect. Well, what about the other 99%? Why they so messed up? because they don't understand this principle. They don't understand the universe. They ain't studied the books of metaphysics. They ain't studied the books of psychology. They ain't understand the books of cosmology or cosmic law or universal principles or universal laws to understand this stuff, to break free out of the bondage of the system that has got them smothered down. And the only way out is spirit. In the spirit, wherever your mind go, the body gotta follow. Oh my God. So if your mind is set on being a certain way, and you're not giving up on that, and that's all you can see, boy, you is on a path of greatness. You got to be great within before you can be great in this world. You got to be great within before the world will show you that you're great. So you got to have what you want within here, in your heart, before you get it in this physical realm. That's how God created the realm, the whole thing. Said, listen, and I know it's metaphysics and I know it's allegory, but he said, let this be light. Okay? God already had light in his mind, in his heart. And when he spoke into the substance that hovered over the earth, the oneness made it all possible. And then we had light. That's how this, man, it's just simple. It's simple when we think about it in a spiritual way. It's all spiritual. Everything is spiritual. But as long as you think that you physical, and God is a big old white man with a beard and sitting in a king's chair with a big crown on his head and chilling like that, then you're missing the mark. You sinning right then. That's what sinning is, missing the mark. Cause it ain't. You ain't human. This thing ain't human. This world ain't human. Ain't nothing that's human. It's all spirit. And the trap is to trap your understanding, your knowledge, and your wisdom. And that's what they did. Let me read this. Your heart get reflected. And when it get reflected into this realm, you get exactly what's in your heart. So here's the thing. If you look around your house, your home, your business, all of this, if you look at that, it'll tell you what was in your heart. But once you become spiritual and acknowledge the presence of God, all of that changes. Your heart changes. It say, give me a new heart. And I'm paraphrasing how it goes. Give me a new heart. I know it that. And you get a new heart. And then it was a song, Speak to My Heart, Holy Spirit, speak to my heart. And then that's what's happening. And then your heart reflects into the divine universe, the passion, the love, the commitment, the loyalty, all of the things that you desire to be, to do, to have. They start manifesting around you. But you got to see beyond this physical experience where you're having right now. Listen to this story. There is a wonderful story told among mountain people that I would like to relate to you. An old man wandered into a country store and saw something he had never seen before. It was a mirror. He picked it up and looked into it and said, "Wow, that's the spitting image of my uncle Zeke." He bought the mirror and took it home. But because his wife family were at the time feuding with Uncle Zeke, he had hid the mirror under some hay in the barn. And from time to time, he would start out and took a look at his Uncle Zeke. After after some time passed, his wife became quite suspicious of his trips to the barn, and investigated. She came across the mirror, looked into it, and said, "Ah, so that's the woman he's been seeing." You get it? You're gonna have to rewind that one, but I'm gonna tell you what it's saying. Who who you think you are and what you is reflecting is up to you. What is in your heart? Your true reflection, okay, is in your heart, and we all have different things in our heart, but our true reflection is that his uncle was in his heart. He felt like he looked like his uncle, so he saw his uncle. The lady seen herself as a different person than who she really was. What you reflecting into the universal magic mirror is what you're going to get. We don't know our heart. That's why we say search our heart, spirit. Cleanse our heart, spirit. Why? Because if the spirit knows the heart and is comforter of the heart, it knows what to change, when to change it, and how to change it to look directly at the divine and say, "This is me. This is I am. Here I am. I look just like you. Whatever I order, that's what it is. That's what it's going to be." And that's what that story is. What you see ain't always what you get. What you think you is. Shit. Listen, let me see what it say. What happened? Oh, I stopped sharing. Let's do it again. Let's do it again. I got another one. And these little poems, I was thinking, they was pretty good to have. Let's go here. As we try to understand life, it can be compared to many things. Madeline Bridges has an interesting idea. For life is a mirror of kings and slaves made by what we think we are. This just what we are and do. So give the world the best you have, and the best will come back to you. The world has for us what we will have of it. We experience only what we see, and what we see, we are. The cosmic mirror of life reflects the faces we make at life, sunny and smiley, or sorrow and irritable. We find that the world, a true copy of our modes, nature is susceptible. She laughs with those who laugh, and she weeps with those who weep. If we rejoice and her glad, or and are glad, the very bird seems to sing more sweetly. But to the sad and sorrow there is sudden gloom on nature's face. The sun may be smiling, but not in their hearts. The birds may be singing, but they break the heart of the southern soul. We change our whole environment by what's in our heart. You can have sadness and you're going to see all sadness. Every creature around you be sad, running from you and everything. Or you can have a delightful heart. Be of good cheer. I have overcome the world. And everything around you will be happy. And that's what's real. That's what create your environment. The mirror, the magic mirror creates your environment from what is in your heart. And when you comprehend this and you sit down and you ask the question, who am I? And what am I? Where am I? Where did this stuff come from? It's going to show you. And don't be afraid. Say, be bold going to the throne of grace. You can do it. You can change and you can walk in the divine light. And you can be, do, and have the things that you desire. And you can serve the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, and be of good cheer because I have overcome the world. And that's what you want to do. You don't want to walk around here mad, sad, lonely, depressed, all of that. It ain't no good feeling. Been down that road. When you let go and let God, the spirit, okay? Let go and let God, the spirit, then you're going to have a wonderful life. And you're going to be able to create properly. And you're going to be able to develop. And then you're going to be able to share your wisdom because you got knowledge. And then you're going to have understanding. You're going to have wisdom. You're going to be able to share with other people. And they're going to understand. Yes, sir. And, you know, a lot of people got to realize that this world, we all going back to the source where we came from. No matter what we believe, what religions we investigate, no matter how we live our life, we still going back to that source. We might have to do this again, but we still going back because we never out of it. We ain't out of it. We just gonna get our mind, and then when we see it, it's gonna be like, uh-oh. And then you're gonna say, dang, everybody that tried to tell you that God is here with you, when you one with God, you is equal to God that is here, and you equal to the divine substance. That's another thing you got to keep in mind. You can't get them from them if you think you lesser than them. You got to be equal to them, and then things start clicking. But this is the treatment for you. Deny that you're a human being. Affirm that you're a spirit and that you're one with the all creative good spirit, the creator, the all, the absolute, that you're one. And the veil of your third eye, your mind's eye, will start opening and you'll start seeing clear. See, you can't see clearly now. Remember that song? I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. That's what happens when the veil is gone off of you. You can see clearly. You can start understanding true fact. And once you start understanding, things get so easy and so you can deal with anything. It's just like you can face it because you know, okay, I'm spirit and I got the whole universe with me. This ain't no problem to me. This ain't nothing. Yeah. With that being said, peace out. Know thyself, love thyself, and be true to thyself. I love.